Hey everyone, we're gonna go ahead and talk about another Agatha Christie. We have The Murder at the Vicarage. This is one of her very early works. Let me check the date here. They all have like little tabs. This is the 1930s. So this one was super interesting. As you can tell from the cover, you can kind of see from the cover that it's going to be an interesting one. There's little clues in the background of the cover, which is kind of fun. But let's go ahead and talk about it in some detail. So we have some positives and some negatives here. The first one is this is, I think, the first Mrs. Marple or Miss Marple, I guess it's a Miss Marple, and I honestly thought that she would impact the story more than she did. So I kind of didn't like that. But obviously I kind of have a skewed thought because I've only read the Poirot ones, and in Poirot he's the main character. But Mrs. Marple is not the main character of the story, the vicar is. So the vicar is the point of view character. And as you probably know if you've watched my channel, I'm not the biggest fan of first person, and this one is a first person. So that one was a little bit off-putting for me at the beginning, but I do normally get used to first person after a while. It's just that at the beginning it's kind of jarring. So that was the other negative. The next one was the policeman who's actually, I think, a colonel. I'm sorry if I'm getting it wrong. I forget his name, but I think it was Colonel Slack or Captain Slack. He was really mean and really horrible, so I think that was the point. But I really disliked that part of the story, so every time he showed up, I really hated him. But I think I was supposed to, so that's not really a negative, but it's kind of a negative. And then this one, well, let's do this one first. The cover, I don't really get the cover other than the cool like things in the background. Like, tennis is not that important to the story. And I thought it was going to be like a big deal in the story, but tennis only comes up like once or twice, and it's not even that important. So the cover is really confusing to me, and I really dislike it. So I like the other cover. The newer one is like, I forget what it was, but there was one of the covers when I was like looking at all the different covers that I liked a lot better. But this one, I'm not gonna get rid of because it's my grandmother's, so I'm gonna stick with the cover, even though I don't like it. The next negative, or the last negative, I think it's kind of both a negative and a positive, so I wanted to put it at the end as kind of a transition. There's a lot of very distracting details, and after I've thought about it, while I was reading, it was a negative. And it was like, oh, it's so annoying that like this thing didn't turn out to be important, or this thing didn't really resolve. But now that I think about it after I'm done, I actually think that was a good thing. And I think, so this is kind of transporting it into the positive. Those distracting little threads that sometimes didn't resolve, they make it incredibly hard to predict the ending. And that's such a beautiful part of Agatha Christie. She is such an amazing writer. Y'all know that I've kind of fallen in love with her. So I think it's turned into a positive. While I was reading, it felt like a negative because I was like, oh, so like this thing wasn't important. That's annoying. But like now that I think about it, it is actually a good thing. So that one I would say it's like both a negative and a positive. The next one is the positives. The characters, again, like all of them, the characters are incredibly distinct, and I love that. So they are just amazing, and you can tell all the differences, and even like when they speak. I heard someone talking about a different book. I think it was one of Sanderson's, that when they speak, you don't need to know someone said this because they're so distinct, and you get to learn the character so well that you just know who it is from how they talk. So I love that kind of thing. She's an amazing author as usual. I was really afraid that the vicar and his wife would like, there was going to be a big scandal, and there wasn't. The ending, I'm not going to spoil it, the ending with the vicar and his wife is the most adorable thing ever. They're so cute and romantic. So I just loved their relationship and like how it grew over time. Or not really growing, it's more you as the audience see the surface level, and that's like, oh, that's weird, and then like you see deeper into the relationship as the story goes on, and I really enjoyed that a lot. um the last positive, I feel like I can't share without spoilers, so I'm gonna put a big banner here. Please do not watch this last little bit. If you haven't read the book, I don't want you to spoil it. So spoilers, spoilers. Okay, you were warned. I'm gonna continue now. The last positive is, it's like the first time there was like a double twist that I felt was believable. So again, spoilers. The character who did it was like the red herring in the beginning, and it's actually believable. It sounds very unbelievable that like first he's the red herring, but he did actually do it, and it's like the twist is so well done, and I just adore that so much, and it's so fun. And there's like little pieces that like proved him innocent that were like done by him, and it was just amazing and surprising. And I feel like I've seen that done before, but never well. So that's my last positive there. So now, kind of back to non spoilers. I think this was just another amazing entry into Agatha Christie. I don't want it to like have glare. Sorry. Again, the cover doesn't do it justice. This is like quite a bit up there. Like, this is a really, really good one. I'm very intrigued by Miss Marple, if she's like more involved in her other books, or if it's always like this where she's just like giving little pieces. We'll find out, right? I don't know how many Miss Marples I own right now. I'm supposed to be getting more. So we'll see what happens. So yeah, this was another really, really great one. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope y'all have a great day. Bye.